I'm not starting here because this is the best Social Distortion album. I'm starting here because this is where I started with it. So when I was getting ready to do this video, I decided to look up some album reviews from when this came out. And honestly, I was a little surprised when most of them were saying this album was a return to their earlier sound from Mommy's Little Monster. Now, since I don't listen to that album much, I had to go back and give it a re-listen. And I have to say I agree and I disagree. Maybe it's the production quality and the maturity in the writing, but I feel like that comparison's a little lazy. Mike Ness himself said he was listening to a lot of 70s punk bands at the time, like The Clash and Dead Boys. And honestly, I feel like that's a more fair comparison while still capturing Social Distortion's unique sound. So, my first exposure to Social Distortion was seeing their music video for I Was Wrong on Much Music. On a bus trip to visit a friend, I had a transfer with a long wait. So, I popped into the record store at the mall and I grabbed a copy of the album. Or my young impressionable mind had put rose-colored glasses on because of the nostalgia. But there were a lot of albums I could listen to front and back around then, and this was one of them. The album starts with some guitar feedback, quickly transitioning into the guitar playing some open chords over the drummer counting the time on the hi-hat. That sound you're getting at the start of the album follows it all the way through. The raw sounds of distorted cowboy chords over sharp, punchy drums. Mike Ness's lyrics on this album are more personal and introspective. Using Mike's own words, I Was Wrong was admitting he had engaged in a bit of that rock and roll ego trip behavior, and had been a bit of a jerk at times. When Angels Sing was a deeply personal song about his grandmother's passing, and how being single only intensified that grief. And while there are tracks that touch on more serious issues such as racism, the album as a whole was a lot more introspective. And I feel like there's a bit of a trend going on here because the last few albums I've reviewed have ended in a cover. And here we go again. This time it's a Rolling Stones classic, Under My Thumb. They did a great job with this cover and really made it uniquely theirs. As much as I like the Rolling Stones original, this feels like Mike Ness lit a fire under it. Under my thumb to go, who won't shut me down? Under my thumb to go, who wants fucked me around? Asshole with Fartkan. It is upbeat, energetic. It feels more like a Social Distortion song than a Rolling Stones song. So what album that ends with a cover should I check out next? Just kidding. But I would love to hear what your favorite Social Distortion track is, or how you got into them. So leave that story in the comments and don't forget to like the video.